Guys, welcome to our day 3 video of lesson 28. Today we are going to start off with our pink arrow, and our pink arrow says I can read 1 and 2 syllable words and am able to break them into syllables. Remember, syllables are how many beats are in a word. So I'm going to give you guys a word and I want you to clap it out and tell me how many syllables are in each of these words. The first one is tosses. Clap it out. Tell me how many syllables. Next one, barnyard. Clap it out. Tell me how many syllables. Coldest. Clap out coldest. Tell me how many syllables. Farmer. Clap out farmer. Tell me how many syllables. And our last one is daydream. Clap out daydream and tell me how many syllables. Okay. Our next arrow is our purple arrow. I can tell how words are used in real life. Our words this week are assures, audience, chorus, determined, enthusiasm, and stomped. We're going to talk about a couple of these words today. Our first one, who assures you that everything will be okay when you feel sad? So who is the person that assures you that everything's going to be okay when you feel sad? So think about that word and use that in your response. Who assures you that everything's going to be okay when you feel sad? Okay, next one. Where does the audience sit during a show? Where does the audience sit during a show? And our last one, what does a chorus do? In our story, we talked about a chorus this week. What did that chorus do? Use that word chorus when you're talking about it with somebody sitting next to you. Okay, so these are the 3 words. Who assures you when you are feeling sad that everything's going to be okay? Where does an audience sit? And what does a chorus do? Okay, for one of your assignments today, you need to pick one of these words and use it in a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star sentence. Okay, our next arrow is our gray arrow, and our gray arrow says, I can read first grade words that aren't spelt the way they sound. Here are our words for today. First one, across, ball, should, large. One more time, across, ball, should, large. Tell me the first one. Spell it. Say it again. Next one. Spell it. Say it again. Spell it. Say it again. And our last one. Spell it. And say it again. Okay, on the next page, I'm going to put my finger to the side. When I slide under, you tell me the word. Okay, again, if you need to pause that video, do that and read those words again if you had struggles with any of them. Also, you need to make sure you're keeping up with my fingers. So if you didn't, pause it, practice those again because you do want them in your head and you do want to be able to read them like a teacher. All right, next arrow is our red arrow. I can put sounds together to speak words. Okay, we've got our long I sounds this week. So we've got IGH saying I. That happens at the end of a word, like in high, or in the middle of a word, like in bright. We've got Y at the end saying I, like in my. And IE saying I at the end of a word, like in tie, or in the middle of a word, like in cried. And then we've got some suffixes that we are practicing. Remember, suffixes are those word parts that come at the end of a word and change their meaning. So ed saying ed, duh, or tuh, meaning happening before. Ing saying ing, meaning happening now. Er saying comparing 2 things. Est saying est, comparing to more than 2 things. And es saying es, and that means more than 1. So making something plural. Okay, we're going to go through our 2 sound cards for this week. First one, card is ice cream. Sound I, spelling I. Sound I, spelling I, consonant E. Sound I, spelling I-E. Sound I, spelling I-G-H. And sound I, spelling Y. Your turn. Card, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling, sound, spelling. And our last one, card is table, sound ul, spelling le. Your turn, card, sound, spelling. Okay, we're going to go through our sound drill. I will do the row at a time, and then you are going to copy me. Here we go. E, ng, I, or E. Your turn. Sound. Two sounds. Or ch, I, or E, oi. Your turn. Two sounds. Or ow, or oo, I, E, or ch. Your turn. Two sounds. Two sounds. Okay, ow or oo, I or e, x, I. Your turn. Two sounds. Two sounds. Okay, moving on to our syllable practice for today. Okay, first one, my suffix says est, spelling E-S-T, meaning comparing more than two things. Your turn. Suffix says, spell it, meaning. Okay, suffix says es, spelling es, meaning more than one. And our rule is that we use this after the sh sound, sh, ch, tch, s, two s's, or an x. Okay, so my suffix says, and it means, or spell it, and it means. Okay, and our next one, suffix says three sounds, t, d, or id, spelling ed, and it means happening before. Your turn. Sound and spelling, and it means. And our last suffix says ing, spelling ing, and it means happening now. Your turn. Suffix says, spell it, and it means. Okay, and then we're going to go through our suffix drill. I'm going to put my finger to the side, and when I slide it under, you tell me which sound each suffix says. Here we go. Sound, three sounds. Three sounds. And three sounds. Okay, moving on to our black arrow. Our black arrow says, I can read out loud like a teacher. We're going to do some sound by sound on our board. Okay, first one, sound. This is going to be the long sound, and it's going to say, put it together. Sound, put it together, and then I'm going to throw a suffix on the end. My suffix is going to say, put it together. Word is sound. Sound, put it together. Sound, put it together. Word is, okay, I'm going to add a suffix onto the end. My suffix is going to be my EST. Before I do that, I need to check to see if that E is going to bounce over and make my I say I, and it will. That I needs to say short. We need to keep that I saying I. So remember, I'm going to double up my G, and then I'm going to add my EST ending. Okay, and my EST suffix says, now put it together. Word is sound. IGH says, put it together. Sound, put it together, and my word is sound. Sound, put it together. Sound, put it together. And NG says, and my word so far is, okay, I'm going to add that EST ending on. This time I don't have to double up my G because I've got the N here. The N is blocking that O, so that O will stay saying ah. I don't have to double anything up. So I'm going to just throw on my EST suffix, and my EST says, and now put it together, my word is One more time. Sound. IGH says. Word is. And I'm going to add a suffix on. Again, I do not need to double anything up because my I does say I with my GH. So I'm just going to throw on my suffix ED. Remember, it says 3 sounds. Figure out the sound it's going to say in this word. And it's going to say, so my word is, one more time, sound. EA is going to be the long sound. Put it together. Sound. Put it together. Okay, and I'm going to throw on a suffix. Now, EA is going to say E. So I do not have to double anything up because I don't need to block it. My vowel is long and it's going to stay long. So I'm going to throw on my suffix ING and it's going to say, put it together and say my word one more time. Sound. Y at the end says, and my word is, one more time. Okay, last word. My blend says, sound. Put it together. Sound. Put it together. Word is. Okay, I'm going to add a suffix on to the end. My vowel is short. It says I. I need to keep it staying short. So I'm going to double up that M before I throw on my ING. Okay, and now my suffix says, and my word is, one more time. Perfect. Okay, again, pause that video if you need to before we move on to the next page because you're going to see these words along with a few others. Okay, on our next page, I'm going to put my finger to the side. You sound it out. When I slide it under, tell me the word. Okay, again, pause that video, and if my finger moved too fast, read those words again because you want to be able to read them like a teacher. Okay, we're going to move on to our story for today. And our story for today is called Bird Watching. Okay, so you can either pause the video and read this with me or go find it on Think Central. And we are on Book 6 or Lesson 6, Lesson 28. And this is called Bird Watching. This is a large bird. 3 large eggs can fit in its nest. That huge nest is quite a sight. This bird has a long bill. It flies low across the sea. It scoops up a lot of fish in that long bill. Anybody know what kind of bird that is? Look at this bird's bright tail. It looks like a fan. Its tail is shiniest in sunlight. This bird is fun to see. Anybody know the name of that bird? This hawk can take flight high across the sky. Then it can dive down in a flash. It can fly faster than a race car can race. And they said that bird was called a... Which bird is the fastest swimmer? Few birds swim, but this one can zoom right by. It looks like it's flying in water. What's the name of that bird? This bird is the biggest and the strongest. One of its eggs is as big as 24 hen eggs. Think about that. So the eggs that you get at the store, one of its big eggs is as big as 24 of those. It is the fastest runner too. What's the name of that bird? This bird is not big. Its nest is not big. Its eggs are not big. Keep your eyes open if you want to spy this bird. Can you find the bird in the picture? And what kind of bird is it? What can this bird do best? It sings the sweetest songs. Hush, you might hear it. What's the name of that bird? Okay, so make sure you've read this story at least 3 times. So do practice in your head. Do a read out loud where maybe you're sounding some of the words out still. And then the last time you read it, make sure that you are reading it like a teacher. So read it kind of like I just did. Okay, our next arrow is our yellow arrow. And our yellow arrow says, I can use sight words and spelling patterns to help me spell words correctly. So you're going to want to get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil. And we are going to write some of these words. These words today are going to use kind of a bunch of different sounds. So I'm not going to hold up a sound card for you. And we're also going to throw some suffixes at the end. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the base word, and then I'm going to tell you the suffix, and I want you to add that on to the end. So my base word is game. I like to play a game. And then we're going to turn that word game into meaning more than one. So we're going to make it plural. So add the suffix at the end to turn it into games. I play a bunch of games. So the first word was games. Okay, next word. The base word is play. I like to play outside. Spell the word play. And then we're going to add on our suffix ing and turn it into playing. I am currently not playing outside. Playing. My second word was playing. Okay. Third word, the base word is street. I have a street outside my house. That means one street. And then we're going to add the suffix at the end to turn it into more than one. So there are a bunch of streets outside. Streets. Okay, and then our third word, the base word is bench. We have a bench outside of our school. Bench. And then we're going to turn it into meaning more than one, like there are a bunch of benches outside. Our suffix we're going to end as I put at the end as our es sound, turning it into benches. Okay, so one more time. The words were games, playing, streets, and benches. Write those 4 words for me on a piece of scrap paper. And then we've got 1 arrow left for today. Our last arrow says, I can understand the first grade text I have read. I'm going to read you our story for this week one more time. And our story is called The Kite from Days with Toad and Frog. What we are going to work on for our comprehension today is because this story is a fiction story, meaning it is not real. And you guys can talk about all the ways that this story is fiction, because there's lots of ways that makes this story a fiction story. We are going to do our beginning, our middle, and our end. So grab yourself a piece of scrap paper because we're going to do this. You're going to do this along with me. So I will read you the beginning, and then I'm going to pause, and you are going to sketch yourself a picture of what happened at the beginning of our story. Okay, so get your paper ready. Put me on pause if you don't have it quite ready, because I'm going to get started reading the beginning. Okay, so The Kite from Days with Frog and Toad. The Kite. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky, Toad said Frog. It will hold the ball of string. I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. That kite will not fly, said the robins. You might as well give up. Toad ran back to Frog. Frog, said Toad, this kite will not fly. I give up. Okay. So I want you guys to I'm going to pause there for a moment, and I want you to draw me a picture of what happened at the beginning of our story. what happened at the beginning of our story. And pause the video if you need more time to draw that picture, because I'm going to move on to the middle here in a sec. We must make a second try, said the frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly. Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up into the air and then fell down with a thud. What a joke, said the robins. That kite will never get off the ground. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is a joke, he said. It will never get off the ground. We have to make a third try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly. So Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up into the air and crashed down into the grass. This kite is junk, said the robins. Throw it away and go home. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is junk, he said. I think we should throw it away and go home. Okay, pause the video there for a second and then draw what happened in the middle of our story. What happened in the middle? So far you should have the beginning drawn and the middle drawn. Pause if you need more time because I'm going to read the end of our story. Toad, said Frog, we need one more try. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down and shout, up, kite, up. Toad ran across the meadow, waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down and shouted, up, kite, up. The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. We did it, cried Toad. Yes, said Frog, if a running try did not work, and a running and waving try did not work, and a running, waving, and jumping try did not work, I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work. The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up to the top of the sky. Okay, that was the end of our story. So I want you guys to take your paper and draw a picture of what happened at the end of a story. Okay, that is the end of your day 3 video. You guys have a couple assignments for me today. First off, you need to do a 1-star, 2-star, or 3-star sentence using one of our vocabulary words from the week. You need to read bird watching at least 3 times. Then, if you haven't yet, make sure you've read the kite to yourself, and you need to do this comprehension assignment. So doing your beginning, your middle, and your ending when you are done. So a picture for each, or a couple pictures that tells me what happened in each part of our story. And then you'll also have a couple worksheets to do it when you are done today. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day, and that is the end of our video.